Okay, so today we're going to colorize a black and white photograph. First thing I want you to do is double click your background layer to get rid of the padlock and just duplicate that. So just drag the layer into the new layer icon and you'll get a duplicate. Turn that off and we'll just save that just in case. The next thing you're going to do is put a black and white adjustment layer on there. So with your main plate or your background, whatever you've named that layer selected, I want you to click on here, this little icon, and click on, what do we have on there first? Yeah, black and white. Click on your black and white adjustment layer, and you will get this. I'm just going to turn that on. It's going to take it black and white. Next thing I want you to do is put a brightness contrast adjustment layer on there. Again, this icon. Click on brightness contrast. You'll get this. Turn it to about 55. So what we're going to be doing today is we're basically going to be making a bunch of selections around the skin, the coat, the shirt, the boots, the chair, and we're going to colorize them individually like that. So let's go ahead and start with the skin. I'm going to grab the pen tool. I'm going to go to the Paths palette. I'm going to zoom in with Command or Control and my plus arrow, or the plus key. And I am going to make a selection around the skin here. I'm going pretty fast. You guys can take your time. You'll probably get a better result. Okay, so we've got it around the face. Now I'm going to make a selection. And now I'm going to come in here and I'm going to select the eyes. I'm going to go to Make Selection and subtract from the selection. That way, whenever we fill this, we're not going to have the eyes being filled with whatever color we use for the skin. Let's come down here. Select the hands. I want to get up in that area. Between the knuckles. Again, you guys take your time. You can do a much better job than what I'm doing. Alright. Zoom out. So make selection. Add to selection. There we go. Now I want to come over to the Channels palette, click on this icon down here, just save selection as channel. I'm going to rename that Skin. Now anytime I want to select that, I can just Command or Control click the skin layer and this selection will come up. So now let's go back over to the Layers palette and I want to add a black and white adjustment layer to there and click on the tint, and now we're getting some skin color here. Let's add some red in there. We'll take that down. And see, we're affecting everything except the eyes. Now let's go ahead and select the suit. So we'll do it exactly the same way. You're going to select the suit, but you're not going to select the shirt here on the arm and here on the chest. Select around it. I've already made my selection, as you can see here. So after you've made this selection, you're going to go back over to, you're going to go to the paths, you're going to make the selection with the pen tool, then you're going to come to the channels, you're going to save it just like we did the skin, and then with the selection live, you're going to come over here to the adjustment layers, and this time we're going to choose hue and saturation, and we will just take the lightness down to sort of darken the suit up. Now from here on out, everything else is pretty much the same. You're going to do this same procedure for the background, the shirt, the boots, and the chair. And you are going to just follow this exact same procedure that we just did. Now, so that's going to get us to this point. For the hair, the buttons, and the eyes, we're going to do something a little different. We are going to just create a new layer, and I'll call this one hair. Let's zoom in. And let's pick a hair color. I'll pick something sort of yellowish, blondish, I guess. I'm going to hit the B on my keyboard for brush. Just take a look. I want to make sure that the hardness is 25%. And I'm going to come over here and I'm going to paint on here, which it looks ridiculous at this point. I want to change the color blending mode from normal to color. And then I'm just going to make sure I come in here and sort of get around changing the size. If you get out, just go back. Get a little closer so you can see what you're doing. Remember, the left and right brackets will change the size for you on the fly. Doesn't have to be exact. Right. That a little bit. And now I'm going to come over here and I'm going to pull my opacity down until I get something that looks somewhat believable. We turn that off and on. Yeah, I think that's going to work. So we're going to do the same thing for the eyes and the buttons, which I've already done. So basically just create your layer and put your color, change the blending mode to color, and adjust the opacity. So there's the eyes and the buttons. The last thing I want to do is create a vignette. So the easiest way to do that is to create a new layer. Let's pull it up to the top. We're going to grab the elliptical marquee tool and we'll just create a marquee around him. If you drag this down, you can push the space bar and you can kind of move it around. So get it where you want it. Push D on your keyboard to make sure that you have the default black and white there. And Control Shift I or Command Shift I to invert the selection. So now everything outside of this is selected. And I'm going to do Edit Fill to fill this with the foreground color. Now hit Command or Control D to deselect it. I'm going to come over and I'm going to grab my filter tool and go to Blur, Gaussian Blur, and put a blur of about 100% on there. Now let's just pull the opacity down to whatever you think looks good. 33% looks okay to me. And that's it.